fans, welcome to Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs Baseball. I'm Pete Pagliaro, bringing you all the action here from Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls. Tonight's matchup is the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs against the visiting Boonville Lumberjacks. First, let's go through the lineups here. We'll start off with the Boonville Lumberjacks. For Boonville, in center field is number 7, Will Hill from the University of Texas. At shortstop is number 1, Asher Friedman from Alcorn State. The DH is number 31, Ian Farber. At first base is number 21, Argenis Lopez. Third baseman is number 20, Tanner Ferguson. In left field for the Lumberjacks is number 25, Wyatt Lassiter. The second baseman is number 2, Zeb Swangam. The extra hitter tonight, number 11, is Devon Abaga. The catcher is number 27, Seth Bishkoff. In right field for the Lumberjacks is number 17, Jihad Guy. And pitching tonight for Boonville is number 10, Logan Brock. The Boonville Lumberjacks are coached by Christian Griffin. For the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs, it'll be Eric Diaz in the center field, number 14. The DH tonight for the Dogs, number 34, is Joe Crenshaw. The shortstop is number 17, Byron Arias. The first baseman is number 9, Connor Scallon. Second baseman is number 44, Nolan Colby. And left field is number 19, Brody Freaker. The third baseman for the Dogs, number 15, Jack Henning. And catching tonight, number 7 is Jaden Santiago. And in right field is number 25, Kyle Coleman. On the mound tonight for Mohawk Valley, number 10 from Bryant University, Nolan Gillis. And the Dogs coached by Steve Luby. So last few warm-up tosses here for Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs pitcher Nolan Gillis as he takes last few tosses here to get warmed up before we start this ball game here tonight. Another nice evening here tonight. No wind here tonight as that flag in center field is stationary. And tonight the Dogs sporting their usual home colors. The dark green tops with black lettering and white trim, and white pants and the black hats tonight. Gillis taking his last few tosses, and that'll be the last one as the ball goes around the horn, and we are going to get started here momentarily. So Boonville comes into this game 0-3, Dogs 3-1 on the season. And so Will Hill will lead things off for Boonville, and Boonville wearing their gray pants, green tops, same dark green color with a tannish streak going around up the sides of the jersey with white lettering. And the first pitch to Hill is a strike, and we are off and ready to go with an 0-1 count. Gillis, a right-handed pitcher, winds and delivers, and has chopped foul in the count 0-2. So Nolan Gillis from Bryant University, a 4.5 ERA in this early season. It'll be righty versus righty here with Hill at the plate. There's the windup and the pitch by Gillis, and hit to the shortstop. And he's going to make the grab, throw right over. I'm sorry, not the shortstop, the second baseman for out number 1. That was Colby over to Scallon for out number 1. So Asher Friedman now the batter. Friedman from Alcorn State. He's the shortstop here for Boonville. Steps in from the right side. On deck for Boonville is Ian Farber. And here's Gillis with the pitch. Inside corner of the plate, called for a strike. The count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the first here from Veterans Memorial Park, Little Falls, New York. You are listening to Perfect Game Collegiate League Baseball. Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs and the Boonville Lumberjacks. There's strike 2, and they count now 0-2 to Friedman. Well, Friedman back in the box, facing an 0-2 count. Gillis shakes it off. momentarily. Now agrees with the pitch, and he puts that one high for ball one in the count, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the windup, and that one's popped up. First baseman calling everybody off. Actually, he's called off by the second baseman. That is Colby. He makes the second out of the game. And just like that, we have 2 outs here in the top of the first. So Colby called off Scallon, who was almost underneath it. But he made the call, said, I got it, and Scallon backed off. So Ian Farber now first lefty we'll see here in the order for Boonville. So lefty versus righty with Gillis on the mound. Here's the pitch. Down low. That misses for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. Farber again in the box, ready to go. And so is Gillis. Here's the windup and the pitch. And down the middle for a called strike, the count 1-1. So 2 outs here early. First 2 batters. Ground out and a pop out. As Gillis looks for number 3 here. And that's popped into left field. And the left fielder is going to back up and make the catch. And that will do it. That is Brody Freaker out there in left field. Makes the catch. And just like that, 1, 2, 3. Inning is over. We head to the bottom of the first. No score. And welcome back, fans. I'm Pete Pagliaro here, bringing you the action. It is the bottom of the first. They have no score after Boonville went around, had their at-bats, and were able to do nothing with a 1-2-3 inning. So we will start things here off for the DiamondDawgs with Eric Diaz. Diaz, a left-handed batter for the Dogs. Wearing number 14, he's going to step into the batter's box and face Logan Brock here. And second time around here for Logan Brock as he pitched in the first game when the Dogs and Boonville faced off earlier in the week. 1 ball, no strikes to Diaz. Diaz from the Dominican University. He has 2 home runs, hitting .438 on the season for the Dogs. 1-0 pitch, here comes. And that's fouled off to the left field side here. And that will even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. So Eric Diaz, Joe Crenshaw, and Byron Arias all due up here in the inning. But first it's Diaz with a 1-1 count. Here's Brock with the pitch, and that one misses for ball 2 in the count, 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Diaz steps out of the box. Taps the bat on his cleats, and he's ready to go in the box. 2-1. Here's the windup and the pitch outside. And the count now jumps to 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike here to Eric Diaz. And Diaz hitting .438 coming into this ball game here in the season. 3-1 pitch now on its way from Logan Brock. First batter of the game, doesn't want to put him on base here. Here's the pitch. And hit on the ground to short. Shortstop slides, makes the grab, throws on over to first. And safe. And safe at first base is the runner. As that was Asher Friedman throwing it over to Lopez at first. And so Diaz reaches on a single, and Joe Crenshaw, who's hitting .500 on the year for the Dogs with 2 home runs, will step into the box here. So the Richmond Spider, Joe Crenshaw, a right-handed batter. He has the DH role here tonight for the Dogs. Runner on first base is Diaz, taking a short lead. Here's the pitch, and Crenshaw fouls that one out on the first base line. Into the basketball courts here. And the count 0-1 to Crenshaw. Byron Arias on deck for the Dogs. 0-1, runner on first, nobody out, no score, bottom 1 here from Vets Park in Little Falls. Logan Brock winds, delivers, runner takes off. Here's the throw, and got him at second base. So Seth Bischoff throws the runner out. That is Eric Diaz caught stealing for out number 1. And the count 1-1 to Crenshaw now. So Diaz tried to get to second base, tried to get in scoring position, got thrown out. A nice throw. Quick throw by the catcher. 1-1 now the count. Here's the pitch. And there's called strike 2, 1-2. That one caught the bottom portion of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out. Crenshaw, the batter, still here. The DH. Here's the windup, the pitch. And ball hits sharply. And the shortstop gets a glove on it, but unable to make the grab. And there's a hit for Crenshaw. And Byron Arias now will come to the plate. So Byron Arias now the batter. Left-handed batter is Arias. Arias, a .444 hitter on the year. One home run, also from Dominican U. So Arias playing short tonight for the Dogs. Has a runner on first with 1 out. No score. Here's the pitch. Fouled off on the third base line. And the count 0-1. Well, fans, if you were here tonight, you'll be able to partake in the wheelbarrow race that's coming up between the half inning. Another reason to make sure you get out to the ballpark. Lots of in-game contests going on for the kids and adults. Always good food, good beverages, and a good time here in Little Falls. And they check the runner back to first base as he quickly gets back. Does Crenshaw. 0-1. The count remains. So no balls and 1 strike here to Arias. Scanlon on deck. And is fouled off on the third base line, and the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike now. No balls and 2 strikes. So 0-2. Yeah. No balls and 2 strikes here to Arias. And here comes the windup in the pitch by Brock. Runner takes off, broken bat. Second baseman's going to scoop it. Throw over to first for the force out at first base. And that is 2 outs now with a runner on second.
First baseman number 9 from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So Connor Scanlon now the batter. So Scanlon with 1 home run on the year from Fairfield University. He's got a runner on second in scoring position here with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 2 outs. There's the pitch from Logan Brock. He's going to step off the rubber. Runner's going to go back to second. Here's the pitch. And there's a called strike 1 on the count, 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Connor Scanlon. 0-1 runner taking a short lead. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball one. The count now even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike to Scanlon Colby. Nolan Colby on deck for Mohawk Valley with 2 outs here. We have no score here in the bottom of the first. Dogs looking to get on the board with a runner in scoring position at second base. Brock looks at the runner at second and now winds and delivers. And that one down low for ball 2, and the count now 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike here to Scanlon. Again, Colby waits on deck. Brock takes a long look in, picks up his sign from his catcher. Now looks at the runner at second base and delivers on the pitch in the dirt. And they stopped by the catcher. And the count now 3-1. So 3 balls and a strike here to Connor Scanlon from Fairfield University. 1 homer on the season. 3-1 count, 2 outs, runner on second. Here's the pitch. And there's a call, strike 2. As Scanlon was starting to make his way down to the first base pads, and had a return now. So count full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 outs. Here's the 3-2. Hit on the ground right back to the pitcher. He grabs it, tosses it over first to end the inning, and that'll do it. No run scored for the Dogs. As we head to the top of the second, we are scoreless.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
And we are back, top of the second. Ready to go here. No score between Boonville and Mohawk Valley. Here's Argenis Lopez, the batter here for Boonville. And Lopez gives that one a ride to center field for a base hit to start things off. So first pitch he sees, he puts it out in center field for a base hit to get things going here for Boonville. So Tanner Ferguson now the batter from the College of Mount Olive. He's the third baseman, a right-handed batter is Ferguson. Wearing number 20, bats from the right side. He will step into the batter's box. Sun shining here at Vets Park. Nice warm day. And there's a swing and a miss in the count 0-1. No balls and 1 strike, so no breeze here tonight for the Dogs. It is hot. Flag is stationary out there in center field. And here comes the 0-1 pitch to Ferguson. And there's another swing and a miss for strike 2, and quickly to count now 0-2 to the third baseman Tanner Ferguson. Wyatt Lassiter is on deck here for Boonville. Again, Boonville 0-3 on the year. Dogs 3-1, sitting in first place in the Eastern Division. 0-2 pitch, fouled off by Ferguson, and the count remains 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 pitch now on the way. And that one misses. And the count 1-2. So it looked good from up here, but maybe a little high, maybe a little low, who knows. But the count 1-2. So Nolan Gillis shakes a few pitches off from his catcher. And that catcher behind the plate tonight is Jaden Santiago. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And that is good for out number 1. So Ferguson goes down swinging. Wyatt Lassiter now the batter. So Lassiter also from the College of Mount Olive. He's the left fielder here tonight for Boonville. Wearing number 25, bats on the right side. Again, runner on first base, being held on. They're going to throw back to make sure he stays nearby. And he gets back quickly, does Lopez. So Lassiter ready to go. Here's the windup and the pitch. It is high, 4-1. So 1 ball, no strikes here to Lassiter as Zeb Swangam is on deck. Runner on first takes a few steps off the bag. Here's the pitch. And that is left high by Lassiter in the count now, 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to the left fielder here, Wyatt Lassiter. At first base is Lopez. And we have 1 out here. And that one misses again. And the count now 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes to Lassiter here. As Lumberjacks looking for their first walk of the ball game. And that one down low for ball 4. And that'll put runners on first and second here for Boonville.
Second baseman number 2 from UNC Asheville, Zeb Swangam.
So Zeb Swangam now the batter for the Lumberjacks. A right-handed bat is Swangam. He is from UNC Asheville. He's got teammates at first and second here with just 1 out. Nolan Gillis winds and delivers. And that is popped up. And catcher and the pitcher going for it. No one's going to get it. And the count 0-1. So everybody will get back in place. Gillis will retrieve his hat. It fell off in the chase. And he will go back to the top of the pitcher's mound and get ready to toss on the 0-1 pitch here to Zeb Swangam. 0-1, 1 out, runners on first and second here for Boonville. Bottom first, no score. Top second, no score. And that one misses for ball 1 in the count, 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Swangam. Obaga is on deck. 1-1. Gillis is looking in. And picks up his sign from his catcher, looks at the runner at second base, and takes another glance. Runner's dancing around. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up foul again and out of play. So 1-2 now the count. Ball and 2 strikes here as Gillis looks in to pick up his sign from his catcher again. And looks like he's ready to go. And he's going to deliver on the 1-2 here to Swangam. There's the windup, the pitch. And a little chopper to short. Short backs up, makes the grab pull, throws it to second. And not going to get the runner at first. Look at the force play at second base for out number 2. So a fielder's choice for Swagum.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, extra hitter
And
number
then I'll bring up
11,
Devon
from
Abaga.
Culinary Academy, Davon Abaga.
So Davon Abaga, right-handed batter for Boonville. From the Culinary Academy, he is the extra hitter in the lineup tonight for Boonville. Number 11 is Abaga. Runners on the corners here for Boonville. And that one misses for ball 1 and the count 1-0. So weather's starting to heat up here as we start heading into mid-June. 1-0. Here's the pitch. And that is high for ball 2 and the count 2-0. So 2 balls in, no strikes to Abaga. And should he reach the catcher, Seth Bischoff is on deck. There's the windup and the 2-0 pitch. Called strike 1 and the count 2-1 now. So 2 balls and a strike here to Abaga. No score thus far here in the top of the second inning. 2 outs here for Boonville. 2-1 pitch is on its way from Gillis. And that one misses for ball 3 in the count 3-1. 3 balls and a strike, 2 outs here to Abaga. And here's the 3-1. Big swing and a miss by Abaga. The count now full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So runners on first and third. Only one spot to put a runner here. Let's see if Gillis can ring him up here with a 3-2 count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And ball hit on the ground, fouled on the third base sign. So the count's going to remain 3-2. Runner's going to head back to the respective bases at first and third. So 3-2 now, again to Gillis here, from Gillis to Abaga. Gillis looks in, sets, winds, delivers, and called. Strike 3 to end the inning, so runners left stranded on the corners for Boonville, and we remain scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second. So here's Nolan Colby, the batter here for the DiamondDawgs in the bottom half of the second. And we are still scoreless here as we head to the bottom half of the second here for the Dogs. Dogs looking to make some noise here and get on the board early in this ball game. Logan Brock will deliver, and he puts that one outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Colby. Colby hitting .250 on the year after coming over from his season at Fairfield University. And that one is high to Colby for ball 2. And the count now 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to Colby. It'll be Colby, Freaker, and Henning all due up here in this inning. And that one misses again outside, and the count now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch by Brock. Called strike 1, and the count 3-1. 3-1 count here to the batter, Nolan Colby. He is the second baseman for the Dogs. Here's the 3-1. And that's fallen off down the third base line, and the count now full at 3-2. So Colby will face a full count here, 3-2 against Logan Colby. Logan Brock, sorry, I mixed up the two names together. 3-2 pitch, here it comes. Swing and a miss. And down goes Colby for out number 1 of the bottom of the second.
Number 19 from George Washington University, Brody Freaker.
So Brody Freaker, now the batter for the Dogs. A right-handed batter is Freaker from George Washington University. He's got 1 dinger on the season, hitting .429 is Freaker. 1 out, and here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. So good crowd here on hand to watch the Dogs and Boonville. Lots of kids on the playground. They got their beach balls that were given out here today. And that ball hit hard to the third baseman. He scoops it and throws it high over the head of the first baseman. And so the runner is safe at first after the high throw in E5.
Now batting for your Dogs, third baseman number 15 from Trinity University, Jack Henning.
So Jack Henning will be your batter here for the Dogs. Heading from Trinity University. He's got a runner on first here. And 1 out. Again, Dogs trying to get on the board early on here. Bottom of the second. We are scoreless thus far. And Jack Henning is now the batter for Mohawk Valley. He's hitting .125. So the runner now at second base after the overthrow. And here comes the windup and the pitch to Henning. And that one misses inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. A 1-0 pitch, here it comes. And that one curves in for a call strike, and the count now 1-1. So things are evened up here to Jack Henning, Jaden Santiago, the catcher on deck for the Dogs. A 1-1 count. Runner on second base. Wind picked up a little now from right to left. 1-1 pitch. Here it is. And that's called strike 2 in the count now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Jack Henning. A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on second, not being held on, taking a short lead. Brock looks over, delivers the pitch, and puts it in the dirt for ball 2. And that evens things up at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jack Henning from Trinity University. 125 hitter thus far on the season is Henning. Looking to add to that batting average here. 2-2, swing and a miss. And down goes Henning swinging. And that is out number 2 for the Dogs as Jaden Santiago comes to the plate.
Jaden Santiago.
So Santiago in the box from the right side with 2 outs. Again, a runner on first base for the Dogs. Here in the bottom of the second, no score. Dogs seeing if they can get 1 run across here at least to get things started in this ball game. No score thus far. 2 hits for the Dogs. 1 for the Lumberjacks. And they're going to throw back the second. Runner gets back quickly. As Santiago will reset and do it all over again. Santiago from Columbia University. So 2 outs, no counts thus far to Santiago. Still waiting his first pitch from Logan Brock. Brock looks at the runner at second. He's going to kick that front leg and deliver. And right down the middle for called strike 1. So No balls and a 1 strike to Santiago. Santiago sporting that Columbia blue helmet. Also a blue bat with black bottom to it. 0-1. And that one hits Santiago in the hands. And he is going to take his base. So hit by pitch is Santiago. And Kyle Coleman will be the batter. So here's Kyle Coleman taking a few warm-up tosses as he waits the umpire to make his way back. The umpire giving the batter a little extra time to get down to the first base line after being hit in the hand. So Coleman now the batter with 2 outs. And runners on first and second. Coleman hitting .500. He's got a home run on the season. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1 as the catcher did a good job dragging that ball back in. And the count 0-1. No balls and a strike here to Coleman. Bottom of the lineup before we go back to the top with Eric Diaz on deck. Here's the 0-1. And that is fouled off. And the count 0-2.
And that's yours to keep as a souvenir. Whoever grabs that one, brought to you by our friends in our Federal Credit Union.
So no balls and 2 strikes here to Coleman. Again, Dogs looking to get some runs here in the bottom of the second. They got runners on first and second, 2 outs. We are still scoreless here in the bottom of the second from Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls, New York. 0-2. Here's the kick, line and delivery, and that has popped up to a right field. The right fielder heading over is going to make the grab. That is Jihad Guy for the out, and that'll do it for the inning. 2 runs stranded, no score. We head to the top of the third.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
And here is Seth Bischoff to lead things off here for Boonville. Bischoff, the catcher. When I think of Bischoff, I think of WCW wrestling or WWF. Which one is it? Both, right? No balls and 1 strike. That one's fallen off. Oh, and 1. Here's the pitch. And that one misses for ball 1-1-1. I miss watching wrestling. I don't watch like I used to. I used to watch wrestling pretty religiously as a kid. Not so much anymore. 1-1 pitch. And that one hit at the third baseman, unable to make the grab. And there's an error. And Bischoff reaches safely.
Fielder number 17 from Bruton Parker College, Jihad Guy.
So Jihad Guy is now the batter for Boonville. Bottom of the order for the Lumberjacks.
You're right, Jack.
Gillis now sets, kicks, winds, and delivers. And right down the middle for a call, strike one, and the count 0-1. So no balls and one strike to Guy. No balls and a strike here. Runner on first, taking a short lead. And here's the pitch. And hit up the middle, above the head of the pitcher, and right between second base and the shortstop for a base hit. And runners now on first and second for Boonville.
University of Texas, Will Hill.
So Will Hill, we go back to the top of the order. He grounded out in his first at bat, did Hill. And so now for Hill, he'll have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the third inning. So Gillis sets, looks at that runner at second who's not being held on. Here's the pitch. And swinging a foul tip. And the count 0-1. No balls and one strike here to Hill. Hill grounded out in his first at bat. Oh and 1 again. Runners on first and second. Will taking short leads here. Nobody out, no score. Top three. Here's the pitch. And that one is hit into left field. And that is going to score the first run of the ball game for Boonville. And the score now 1-0 after the single from Will Hill. And 1-0 now the score. And Asher Friedman will come to the plate.
Number 1 from Alcorn State, Asher Friedman.
So here's Asher Friedman. Friedman popped out in his first at bat. He is the shortstop for Boonville. Runners on first and second, 1-0 now the score. Nolan Gillis winds and delivers, and but on the first baseline foul. And the count 0-1. And timeout is called at the moment as Will Hill tying his shoe. Owen won the count here to Asher Friedman. Nolan Gillis looks in here. Nobody out here in the top of the third. Gillis winds and delivers and puts it down the center of the plate for strike two, and the count 0-2. So ahead in the count now is Gillis to Friedman. Ian Farber is on deck here for Boonville. No balls and two strikes. Oh, and 2 pitch. And a little ball dribbling. This might cause problems, and it does. It was a little sadly hit ball into the infield, and shortstop came charging at it, but unable to make the grab. Actually, it was a third baseman who came charging at it. And now bases are loaded for Ian Farber. So Ian Farber at the plate. Nolan Gillis is the pitcher, looking to get out of this jam here with nobody out here in the top of the third. Gillis winds and delivers. Down the middle, calls strike one. So no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch to Farber. And the count now 0-2. So bases are loaded here for Farber. Gillis looking in, picking up his sign from his catcher. And he's going to deliver now on the 0-2. And puts it high for ball 1 in the count 1-2. A ball and 2 strikes to the batter, Dylan Farber. He is the DH tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, Ian Farber. Just making up names back here. And that one misses for ball 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Farber popped out in his first at bat here tonight. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Loses the bat, but also loses the strikeout, as that is out number 2. So Farber strikes out, and that'll bring up Argenis Lopez. So Argenis Lopez with 1 out will come to the plate. Still bases loaded here for the Lumberjacks with 1 out and a 1-0 lead. So Lopez, a right-handed batter, ready to face Gillis. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. One-0 pitch, swing and a miss for strike 1 in the count 1-1. So a ball and a strike here to Argenis Lopez. Tanner Ferguson is on deck for Boonville. 1-1. 1 out, bases loaded. Top 3. Here's the pitch. And curveball curves its way in, and the count now 1-2. So nice pitch there by Gillis to get ahead of the count to Lopez in the count 1-2. 1 more needed here to get Lopez. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the 1-2. And that one misses, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Lopez. Gillis looking for 1 more here. Here's the windup and the pitch on the 2-2. And that's fouled off. And the count is 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded, 1 out. 1-0. Boonville ahead. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And he strikes out for out number 2 of the inning.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, third baseman number 20 from the College of Mount Olive, Tanner Ferguson.
So Tanner Ferguson, now the batter for Boonville. This time with 2 outs and still bases loaded, 1-0 lead for Boonville, as Gillis looking to slowly work his way out of this inning. Gillis winds and delivers and misses outside and low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. One and 0 here. Gillis sets, winds, and delivers to Ferguson. And that is fouled off in the count now 1-1. So things have been evened up here at 1-1 with Ferguson, the third baseman, at the plate. He struck out in his first attempt here tonight. And looking to avoid that here if he can. 1-1. And there's another swing and a miss. And they count 1-2. So Gillis needs 1 more to get himself out of this inning here with bases loaded. 1-0 score. Boonville ahead. Gillis is going to reach back And deliver. And swing and a miss. And Ferguson goes down swinging. Strands all the runners on the base paths. 1 run scores. And Boonville's ahead 1-0. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. And we are back. Bottom of the 3rd, and Eric Diaz will lead things off here for the Dogs. That is the top of the order for Mohawk Valley. So that means it'll be Eric Diaz to lead them off, followed by Joe Crenshaw and Byron Arias. And looks like a baseball made its way onto the field. See if a little league field behind us here. So here's Diaz. Here's the windup, the pitch, and Diaz fouls that one off on the first base line on the count 0-1. So no balls in 1 strike to Diaz, who singled in his first attempt here tonight. Again, he was hitting .438 coming into this ball game. Was Diaz. 0-1. Here's the pitch. And there's strike 2. Diaz not sure about that one. And the count 0-2. So an 0-2 count. Logan Brock ahead here. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And swing and a miss as Diaz chases that one and strikes out for out number 1. So Joe Crenshaw now will come to the plate for the Dogs.
Designated hitter number 34 from Richmond University, Joe Crenshaw.
So here's Joe Crenshaw. He singled in his first attempt here tonight. So Crenshaw will step into the batter's box from the right side to face the righty in Logan Brock here for the second time. One out here for the Dogs. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that ball is popped up high into center field. It is at the wall. It is gone. A home run for Joe Crenshaw. His 3rd home run of the year. So Joe Crenshaw takes it out of the yard and ties this game back up at 1. So the 2nd home run of the season for the Richmond Spider. And the Dogs have tied this game at 1.
Shortstop number 17 from Dominican University, Byron Arias.
So Byron Arias, who grounded out in his first at bat, now will step back into the batter's box with the game knotted at 1 with 1 out, nobody on. There's Arias at the plate hitting .444. And there's a called strike 1 and the count 0-1. No balls and one strike here to Arias. And that ball is a shot over the head of the first baseman into right field. And that'll be good for a single for Arias.
Now batting for your Dogs, first baseman number 9 from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So here's Connor Scanlon. Scanlon grounded out in his first attempt here tonight. He is the first baseman. And slowly you're starting to see the shade creep in here, starting from the right side. He usually makes his way from right to left. You'll see a little bit of a shade, and then slowly the infield dirt will darken. So that home run number 3 is the league leading home run for Crenshaw, I'm being told. So 3 home runs on the season for Crenshaw. Having a heck of a season thus far. So here's Scanlon now. And that one is down low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Well, the runner on first here for the Dogs in the bottom of the third. 1-1 the score. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. Big throw. It's got a little bit of a bounce, and it's going to make its way into the outfield, but not far enough for the runner to advance the third. But a stolen base at second for Arias. So Scanlon with a 2-0 count now as he jumps back into the batter's box to face Logan Brock. Brock looks in. After Scanlon, it'll be Colby who is on deck. 2-0 the count. Glance at the runner at second, and now the throw. Big swing and a miss, and that is strike 1, and they count now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Connor Scanlon. Two 2-1 pitch on its way momentarily. Here it comes. Soon, I promise. There it is. And little dribbler as the second baseman tries to make a stab at it and unable to make the grab. And that's a hit. So runners are safe at first and third. So Scanlon with the single will bring up Nolan Colby. So Nolan Colby, who struck out his first time around, will step into the box here with 1 out and runners on the corners. 1 runner in scoring position at third. Dogs looking to add to that score and take the lead here, down, tied 1-1. Here's the pitch, down low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the second baseman, Colby. 1-0 pitch from Brock. Here it is. And it was popped foul down the third base side of the count, 1-1. One ball and 1 strike here to Colby. One pitch as Brock turns quickly and throws over to first. The count's going to remain 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Shows bunt, puts it down right in front of home plate. Nice bunt, and that is trouble. And everybody's safe on the bunt, and a run scores, and the Dogs take a 2-1 lead after the bunt. Surprised everybody from Nolan Colby. So here's Brody Freaker. Reached on an E5. So with 1 out, runners on first and second, Dogs with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Again, just 1 out here. as Logan Brock looks in, checks the runner at second, and delivers the pitch. Down low, 4-1. So ball and no strikes to Freaker. Henning is on deck. One-0 pitch, and that's fouled off this time down the first base line. And that evens the count at a 1-1 strike. So 1-1, runners on first and second for Mohawk Valley here in the bottom of the third inning. We're coming to you from Vets Memorial Park in Little Falls, New York. It is perfect game collegiate baseball league action between the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs and the Boonville Lumberjacks. Here's the pitch. Again, that one's fouled off down the first base line again, and this time the count 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes here to Freaker. Freaker looking to put the ball in play and get some more runs here for the Dogs with a 2-1 lead. Long stare there by Logan Brock. And now he looks at the runner at second and delivers the pitch. And same spot down the first base line, foul for Freaker. So 1-2 now. The count to Freaker. 1-2 pitch. On its way, here it is. And that one misses for ball 2. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So things have been evened up here to Freaker, 2-2. Runners on the base pads at first and second, taking short leads. Not being held on by the first or second baseman. Here's the pitch. And big swing and a miss, and Freaker goes down swinging. And that is out number 2 for the Dogs.
Nine for your Dogs. Third baseman number 15 from Trinity University, Jack Henning.
So here's Jack Henning. Henning, a right-handed batter for Mohawk Valley. He's going to step into the box here with 2 outs. And again, runners on first and second. Bottom of the third, here's the pitch. That one had movement but away, and the count 1-0. One-0 count here to Henning. 2 outs on the board here for the Dogs. 1-0 pitch, here it comes. And fouled off down that same first base line. A lot of foul balls on that first base line. If you're hanging out down the first base line, you're going to have a dozen baseballs by this end of this inning. 1-1. 2 outs. Henning hitting 125 coming into this ball game from Trinity University. And he struck out in his last at bat. He's facing a 1-1 count here with 2 outs and Dogs on first and second. And here's Brock with the pitch. And another foul ball on the first base line. And the count moves to 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here's the windup now on the pitch. And that's fouled off this time behind us. And we'll stay put at 1-1. So Henning continuing to battle here at the plate with Logan Brock. Brock ahead in the count, 1-2. He's got 2 outs, but runners on first and second. Dogs with a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Brock looks in to grab his sign from his catcher. Seth Bischoff gets his sign, and he's going to deliver on the 1-2 now. And curveball called, strike 3. And that will do it for the inning. A called strike 3 ends the inning. Dogs put up a run, take the lead 2-1. We head to the top of the 4th.
At Hummel's Office Plus, our customers remain our #1 priority. Hi, Central New York. This is Justin Hummel, CEO of Hummel's Office Plus. If you are in need of a reliable, competitive, and consistent business product supplier, give Hummel's a try. We offer customized pricing, free next-day delivery, and personalized service. With our wide assortment of office supplies, janitorial supplies, furniture, and everything else you need for your workplace, Hummel's is your go-to for all your business products.
Spring into action and get started on your home projects with Little Falls Lumber. Get your free estimate today for that project, big or small. Little Falls Lumber. They're always happy to help.
Stop by one of our 3 convenient locations and speak to one of our knowledgeable salesmen about your next project.
And we are back. We have a new pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley. It is Peyton Borzovi. So Peyton Borzovi takes over the pitching duties here for Mohawk Valley. Dogs with a 2-1 lead here at the top of the 4th. And the first pitch from Borzovi is a ball on the count of 1-0. Wyatt Lassiter is the batter here. And there is a ball 2. Take a second to see what he was calling. And that one misses for ball 3 to Lassiter. Three-0 pitch. Here it comes. Borzovi winds and delivers, and that is ball 4. So a walk to start things off here for Borzovi here in the top of the 4th.
Second baseman number 2 from the University of North Carolina at Asheville, Zeb Swangam.
So Zeb Swangam, who reached on a fielder's choice, will step into the box here with a runner on first base and nobody out here in the top of the 4th. New pitcher Borzovi is a lefty, and that one misses for ball 1. So that's 5 straight balls from Borzovi, and with that, his catcher, Jaden Santiago, is going to go out there and have a few words with him. And so with that, he is back to behind the plate, and we're ready to go. So here comes the pitch now to Swagam from Borzovi. It is high, and it is ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. And the windup and the pitch. And there it is, first strike. And the count 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike. Borzovi was looking for that strike, finally found it. And let's see what comes next with the 2-1 count here to Swangam. Abaga is on deck. Outside, ball 3 in the count, 3-1. So a 3-1 count, nobody out. Runner on first here for the Lumberjacks, top 4. Dogs ahead, 2-1. And that one is popped high into center field. Center fielder at the wall. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Zeb Swangum, and not what Borzovi was looking for to start things off here when he came into the ball game.
Lumberjacks, extra hitter number 11 from the culinary camp.
And just like that, the leads changes now, 3-2. Boonville ahead. So a back and forth affair here. A back and forth affair as Davon Abaga now will step into the box here against Borzovi. Here's Borzovi. Swing and a miss for strike one. So better start with that batter for Borzovi. And the count 0-1. There's the second pitch. And that ball hit sharply into left field. And on his wheels, he goes around the second. And he's going to slide in safely. Close play at second. But he is safe, is Abaga with the double. So Seth Bischoff is now the batter for Boonville Lumberjacks. Bischoff reached on an error. And again, nobody out still here in the top of the fourth for the Lumberjacks. Abaga is at second base. Bischoff at the plate. Nobody out. Borzovi on the mound. And there's a called strike inside corner. And the count 0-1. No balls and a strike here as Borzovi stepped off to keep the runner close. 0-1. Borzovi looks at the runner at second a few times, takes a third look, and now delivers the pitch. And that ball is popped up high into left field at the wall, and that is gone. Another home run back-to-back from Swingham and Abaga. Another two-run shot. Not back-to-back, sorry, but another home run. Two home runs now. It was a two-run home run from Swingham, a double by Abaga, and Bischoff with a two-run home run. And now here's Jihad Guy. So Jihad Guy now will come to the plate with nobody out. 5-2, I'm sorry, is the score. Here's Borzovi with the pitch, and that's fouled off. And the count 0-1. So no balls and a strike here to Jihad Guy, the bottom of the lineup. And then back to the top we go with Will Hill on deck. So the bottom of the order has heated up here for Boonville. And that one is fouled off down the first base line, 0-2. So Guy singled in his first at-bat here this evening. First time facing Borzovi in the ballgame. Here's the 0-2. And that one misses for ball one, and the count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Already 3 home runs on this ballgame. 1 from Mohawk Valley, 2 from Boonville. That one misses for ball 2, and the count now 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. And nobody out. And that ball's hit into right center field over the head of the second baseman. And the hits continue here for Boonville with Jihad picking up the single.
Now batting center fielder number 7 from the University of Texas, Will Hill.
So Will Hill, who's grounded out and singled here tonight, will get his third shot at the plate, this time against Borzovi. So runner on first. We still have nobody out here in the top of the fourth. 5-2 the score. A 4-run inning thus far for the Lumberjacks. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss. And there is strike one. No balls and a strike to Hill. Oh and 1. Wind up the pitch, and that is popped foul down the first base line. And 0-2 now the count. No balls and 2 strikes to Hill. Oh, 2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And there is strike 3 for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, shortstop number 1 from Alcorn State, Asher Friedman.
So Asher Friedman now, who popped out and singled. Now the batter for the Lumberjacks. Friedman, the shortstop, right-handed batter. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. And there is strike 1. So no balls and a strike. So the bats for Boonville have heated up here in the 4th inning. And really, bottom half of the lineup has done all the damage. 1-1. Here is Borzovi with the pitch. Has popped foul, and catcher tries to make the grab and unable to make the catch. And so with the 1 out, the count now 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes to Friedman. A 1-2 as Friedman back in the box, ready to go. Umpire gives a sign, play ball, and we will await the pitch here from I can't say his name anymore. Borzovi. And that one is fouled off, and the count remains 1-2. So 1-2 as Peyton Borzovi, tough inning. He entered this game for him. 1-2 the count. Friedman is the batter at the plate for the Lumberjacks. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's the windup. And the pitch from the lefty. And that hit underneath the shortstop and the second baseman out into left field for a base hit for Friedman. Both the third baseman and the second baseman from shortstop tried. Both the third baseman and the shortstop attempting to get that, and they both missed. So runners on first and second here for the Lumberjacks. Ian Farber is the batter. He has struck out and popped out here tonight. Still just 1 out here in the inning. And that one misses outside. And the count 1-0. A ball and a strike. 1 out. Runners on first and second, both taking short leads for the Lumberjacks. That one is outside. And that is ball 2 in the count now, 2-0. Two-0 pitch, and that's a rocket to right field. And right fielder makes a diving catch that makes the grab. And nice play there by Kyle Coleman out there in right.
Dominating the Lumberjacks, first baseman number 21 from Wabash Valley College, Argenis Lopez.
So Argenis Lopez, who struck out and singled here tonight, he will step into the batter's box on the right side with 2 outs. And runners on first and second. 5-2 lead here for the Lumberjacks as Borgo give up with his name now. Here's the pitch. Outside. Ball 1. So Borzovi 1-0. And he will wind and deliver to Lopez. And there's a strike. The count now 1-1. A ball and a strike to Argenis Lopez. One pitch. Errors, strike two. And one more needed to get out of this inning here with 2 outs. 1-2. Batter Lopez digs in. And looking to battle here with a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. And he does so and fouls it off down the third base line. The count 1-2. So Borzovi with a 1-2 count here to Argenis Lopez with 2 outs. Runners on first and second for the Lumberjacks. They hold a 5-2 advantage here, top 4. And that is popped up in the air. And first baseman calls the pitcher and the catcher off, makes the grab, ends the inning. Not before 4 runs get put up by Boonville, and they lead 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 4th.
Columbia University, Jaden Santiago.
So here's Jaden Santiago to lead things off here for the Dogs. In the bottom half of the 4th, first pitch is a strike to Santiago. 0-1. And that's a foul ball on the count quickly, 0-2. And that one is fouled off. And the count remains 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Santiago. It'll be Santiago, Kyle Coleman, and then to the top of the batting order with Eric Diaz. 0-2 pitch here to Santiago, and he goes around. They said that he went. He tried to hold his swing, but unable to do so.
Now batting for your Dogs, right
And he
fielder
strikes
number
out.
25 from Belmont University, Kyle Coleman.
So here's Kyle Coleman, the 9-hitter in the lineup for the Dogs. Coleman with a pop out in his first attempt here tonight. Right-handed batter is Coleman, and he is ready to go to face the righty and starter Logan Brock. Brock winds and delivers, and that one's fouled off. And lots of foul balls here tonight. Let's hope the bag is full. We got plenty of baseballs to go around. No balls and 1 strike here to Kyle Coleman. 0-1 pitch, high, and the count 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. And just one out here for the Dogs. Bottom 4. Dogs down 5-2. They got to rally back to get some runs here. And that one down the middle for a call strike. And they count now 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Coleman is ready to go, as is Logan Brock as he delivers. And that ball hit at the shortstop, who makes the grab for the out. And that is out number 2 with the pop fly to the shortstop.
14 from Dominican University, Eric Diaz.
So Eric Diaz, now your batter here for Mohawk Valley. Diaz has struck out in his last at bat, also singled here tonight. First pitch to him is down low for ball 1, and the count 1-0. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th for the Dogs. Nobody on. As the sun has just about disappeared. You have a little bit of sun at the third base area. That'll be gone probably by the time this inning is over. Starting to cool things down here a little bit with the sun starting to hide behind these clouds and go down for the evening. 1-1 the count here to Eric Diaz. Diaz, a left-handed batter facing the righty, Logan Brock. Here's the pitch and called strike 2. As Diaz doesn't like that call, and he expresses his opinion on where that was. And the count 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And down goes Diaz, and Diaz has some words for the umpire as he walks away. And that'll do it for the inning. Score remains 5-2 Lumberjacks. We'll be back after this.
At NBT Bank, we know that this day starts with this one. This day starts with this one. Because no matter how unforgettable the extraordinary days are, there's a lot of every day that leads up to them. You can count on NBT Bank to help you get started. NBT Bank, it starts here.
Little Falls, New York combines the charms of a small town with the conveniences of a much larger city. Of course, you'd expect to find welcoming people, beautiful scenery, family-friendly activities, and plenty to do outdoors, but you might be surprised to find that Little Falls, New York also has an espresso bar, gem shop, art center, French restaurant, antique centers, local hospital, and extensive civic services and amenities. Not to mention homes both beautiful and affordable, nestled in a dramatic natural setting amongst steep hills that descend to the Mohawk River and Erie Canal. Little Falls, New York. It's a great place to spend a few days or a lifetime.
And we are back. New pitcher on the mound for Mohawk Valley is Cal McBurney. Cal McBurney now pitching for the DiamondDawgs. And first pitch coming from McBurney now, and it is high for ball number 1. 1 ball, no strikes. And that one misses for ball 3, and the count 3-0. 2-0, sorry. Thought it was 2-0. Saw a 3 up there. 2-0 pitch. Here's the windup. And that one hit at second base. Second baseman scoops it, throws on over, and that is good for out number 1.
Now batting the Lumberjacks, left fielder number 25 from the College of Mount Olive, Wyatt Lassiter.
So with the 1 out, Wyatt Lassiter now will come to the plate for Boonville here in the top of the 5th inning. 5-2 the score. Lassiter, the batter. He'll be fouled by Swingham. And here's the pitch. Called strike 1, and the count 0-1. Lassiter with 2 walks here tonight. Zeb Swingham is on deck. 0-1 the pitch here to Lassiter, and he will wind and deliver Will McBurney, and the count now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Lassiter. He steps out of the box, looks down the third base line, gets some instruction from his coach down there, and he's going to face McBurney with an 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And broken bat and hit at the second baseman. He grabs it, throws over quickly for out number 2.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks,
And so Zeb Swingham now will come to the plate. Swingham with a 2-run home run in his last at bat. And he will come to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. Here's the pitch from McBurney, and that's a called strike 1. No balls in, 1 strike here. 2 outs. Righty at the plate. McBurney, the righty on the mound, and the right-hander at the plate is Swingham. That is strike 2 to Swingham. Quickly 0-2 now the count. So McBurney ahead here with 2 outs. Needs just 1 strike here to get out of this inning. 0-2, shakes one off. And now he will set Will McBurney, and he'll kick, wind, and deliver on the 0-2. And that's fallen off on the first base line. And we will stay put at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 0-2 with 2 outs. Nobody on here for the Lumberjacks. 5-2 lead. Top 5 from Vets Park in Little Falls. 0-2 pitch. McBurney is ready. And he's going to pitch. And they get some, what they call strike 3, looking to end the inning. Quick inning for Boonville. And the Dogs 5-2. Trying to get some runs here going in the bottom of the 5th. And we are back. We have a new pitcher on the mound here for Boonville. We had to get some numbers straightened out, but it looks like it is Jonathan Tesloff. Jonathan Tesloff now pitching for Boonville. So Tesloff and Joe Crenshaw at the plate here for Mohawk Valley. He hit a home run in his last at bat and pops that one up. And it is out in left field. Caught by the center fielder. And that is out number uno.
The Angry Dogs shortstop number 17 from Dominican University, Brian Arias.
So Brian Arias is now the batter. Arias has singled and grounded out here tonight. And he will step into the box to face Tesloff here with one out. Bottom 5 here from Vets Park. And here's the pitch. It is called a strike. Very outside corner. And the count 0-1. The strike zone today is a little here, a little there. But we're moving along. 0-1. Can't have everything, folks. You can't have everything. That one misses down low, and the count 1-1. I'd say it's kind of gone both ways. 1-1 with one out. Tesloff looks in, shakes off a few pitches, and looks like he's happy now and ready to go. And here's the pitch. And that one hit the umpire in the inside of his leg. That, I'm telling you, is not a good spot. And he's going to have to walk that one off for a second or two. That is the inside thigh. I'm no doctor, but that hurts. 2-1. So now the guys will come out and talk to him a little bit, buy him some extra time. And the Boonville manager even brought him a gift. He brought him a white new ball. How nice. 2-1. It looks like he's good to go, doing a little stretch, and he's back behind the plate. Here we go. And that one misses for ball 3. So 3 balls and 1 strike. For all the gear these guys have on back there, there's always a couple spots that, you know, ball seems to find its way. 3-1. Here's the pitch. And outside for ball 4. And that is a walk to Arias.
Now then, bring your dogs. First baseman number 9 from Fairfield University, Connor Scanlon.
So Connor Scanlon, now the batter for Mohawk Valley. The umpire, a little chat with the umpire, with the catcher. They have something in common in there. They're both standing behind there with a missile being thrown at them at every pitch. Kind of bond back there a little bit. That one misses, and the count 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes to Scanlon. One-0 pitch now from Tesloff as he looks in. And a little dribbler to the third baseman, and he bobbles it, drops it, and safe at first is the runner. And let's see how that's scored by our scorekeeper, and that's an error. So Scanlon will reach on an error, and Nolan Colby will come to the plate.
Now then, bring your dogs. Second baseman number 44 from Fairfield University, Nolan Colby.
So here's Nolan Colby. As Colby struck out and singled here this evening. Runner on first and second here for the Dogs. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Down low for ball 1. And with that, the catcher's going to go out and talk to his pitcher momentarily. And that is Seth Bischoff chatting with Jonathan Tesloff. So quick chat is over. So 1 ball and no strikes here, 1 out. Tesloff looks at the runner at second base and now kicks and delivers And there's a called strike, the count 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike with runners on the first and second. Runner at home plate is the tying run. So 1 swing of the bat, we can have a tie ball game here, folks. 1-1 is the count. There's the pitch. And that one gets away, and that's going to allow the runners to advance to second and third. So the runners at second and third, the count now 2-1 to Nolan Colby. Brody Freaker on deck for the Dogs. As Colby makes his way back into the batter's box, 2-1. Tesloff looks in, winds and delivers, and fouled off in the count 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that one missing. 4-3 in the count, full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Nolan Colby. Only 1 spot to put him at first base with the runners on second and third, 1 out. Here's the windup and pitch by Tesloff. Swing and a miss, and down goes Colby. So the strikeout to Colby marks out number 2. And Brody Freaker is now the batter, reaching on an error and a strikeout in his last attempt. So with 2 outs, you got runners on second and third. Looking to get on here is Freaker, hitting .429 on the season with 1 home run. And he fouls that one off on the first base line. Does Freaker in the count 0-1. So no balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Oh and 1 now the count. 2 outs. Here's the windup and the pitch by Tesloff in the dirt. 4-1. So things get evened up here at 1-1. A ball and a strike to Brody Freaker. 1-1 pitch. Here it is. And it's called strike 2. And they count 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 more strike needed here for Tesloff to get out of this inning. As Freaker would like to change that here with a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And that is popped up into center field. It is at the wall. He's going to make the catch. And that will do it for the inning as Brody Freaker pops out to center field to end the inning. No run score, 5-2. The score remains back after this.
Some people might think that the tire shop in Canajoharie only does tires. Nah, that's only their name. The tire shop does so much more. Oil changes, custom wheels, interstate batteries, computer wheel balancing, tire repair service and recapping, auto accessories, tire chains, ag bags, bale and net wrap, and much more. And when it comes to tires, the tire shop in Canajoharie also does so much more. Lawn and garden tires, off the road, backhoe, loader tires, log skidder, agricultural, ATV and UTV tires, and on the farm tire services. The tire shop is a multi-line new tire dealer. That means they're quite a choice for top brand name tires for your car, truck, SUV, semi-tractor, and trailer, all at great prices. They're also a Goodyear national accounts and state contract pricing location. Financing available too. Find more information and a list of services at thetireshop.biz. Thetireshop.biz. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. Yes, Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The Tire Shop, 155 Erie Boulevard in Canajoharie.
If you are looking for some shopping and dining, head on over to Canal Place, where you will find quaint shops, galleries, restaurants, and inns situated in the old mill buildings and storefronts along the waterfront of Canal Place. They've become known as the happening place for the arts in the Mohawk Valley. Not so long ago, many of these buildings were working mills serving the garment industry. Even today, after conversion to service retail space, many of these rugged but lovely structures speak to our great regional manufacturing heritage. If you're looking for fine arts, entertainment, or antiques, you simply must pay a visit to Canal Place.
And we are back. And it is the top of the 6th inning here at Vets Park. 5-2 is the score. And Davon Abaga is the batter here for the Lumberjacks. It'll be Abaga, Seth Fishkoff, and Jihad Guy. Cal McBurney the pitcher. And there's a strike from McBurney in the count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As McBurney winds and delivers. Called strike 2. And they count 0-2. A little wider strike zone here in the later part of the game. That's okay. 0-2. And that's high. And they count 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Stanley Cup playoffs back on tonight. After rotating back and forth, the Knicks last night winning game 1. A little bit of a surprise, I might say myself. Thought maybe San Antonio would win that game, but should be a good series. There's a strikeout to Abaga for out number 1. And Seth Bischoff now the batter.
Number 27 from Grand Rapids Community College, Seth Bischoff.
So here's Bischoff, who hit a home run earlier and also reached on an error. He had a 2-run home run. 1 out. Bischoff, a right-handed batter to face the righty here in McBurney. McBurney winds and delivers, and there's called strike 1. That was on the outside corner, 0-1. So top 6, nobody on here. 5-2 the score. Visitors ahead. Swing and a miss by Bischoff, and the count now 0-2. So ahead in the count quickly is Cal McBurney for Mohawk Valley. McBurney moves quickly, gets his sign usually, and off and running. This time he's going to shake his head. Not liking when we got the call, and then looks like he's okay with signal number 2. And he does a good job with that, and he strikes him out. So there is the second strikeout of the inning to Bischoff, and now Jihad Guy will come to the plate. So Jihad Guy with 2 outs. He will face Cal McBurney here with nobody on. McBurney sets and delivers. And that's a called strike, and the count 0-1. A little delayed call there. Took a second. And the count 0-1. 0-1. Here's McBurney. And that one misses. And the count 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Jihad Guy, the right fielder, has singled twice here tonight. And McBurney is ready to go with the 1-1 pitch. Here it is. And a lot of movement on that one, moving away from Guy. And the count 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Fans will be back here Saturday night for more baseball. So make sure you come on down. Here's the pitch and hit on the ground to the second baseman. He scoops it up, throws over to first, and that will do it, as that was Nolan Colby over to Connor Scallon, and a quick inning for Boonville. Back after this, folks. are back. Jack Henning is the batter to lead things off here for the Dogs in the bottom half of the sixth. So Jack Henning, followed by Jaden Santiago and Kyle Coleman. Here is the pitch. And that is hit into right field and is drifting away, and the catch is made by the right fielder for out number one as Jack Henning pops out. So Jaden Santiago now the batter. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat, also struck out here tonight. So here's Santiago, third try. Maybe third time is the charm. Well, let's see as he faces Teslov here in the bottom of the sixth with one out. There's a windup pitch and in the dirt, but he swings for it. Chases that one, does Santiago. And the count 0-1. No balls, one strike to Santiago. Teslov winds, delivers, and big arch and curve. And that's a strike. The count 0-2. That looked high at first and then just dropped into the strike zone. 0-2. Here's the pitch. And another one. That one misses, though, and the count 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Santiago. Coleman on deck for the Dogs. 1-2 pitch. On its way momentarily. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. And that is out number 2, the second strikeout of the evening for Santiago. So Kyle Coleman, the 9-hitter, 0 for 2 tonight with 2 pop-outs. And let's see if he can get going here against Jonathan Teslov. Here's the windup, the pitch, and shows bunt, puts it down, and foul. So Coleman's going to have to come all the way back, as that one was fouled off on the third base line by way of a bunt. Oh, no balls and 1 strike. So it looks like we're ready to go. Coleman finally getting back to the plate here. And he's going to have an 0-1 count once he steps back into the box as he waits for Teslov. Teslov is ready. Coleman's ready. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. Down low for ball 1. 1-1 now to Coleman. A ball and a strike, 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch. And that is lifted in the air as the second baseman makes the grab to end the inning. Another quick inning for the Dogs. No run score. 5-3 after 6. Back after this.
Hey fans, tell the world you are here at Veterans Memorial Park watching your Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs. Share your experiences, connect with other fans, and gain behind-the-scenes access to your favorite team. For more information, visit mvdiamonddogs.com or like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Visit the Daily Post and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the Mohawk Valley. Our mission is to generate interest in the area and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our podcast, or sign up for our weekly email newsletter. Stop by today at thedailypost.digital. You'll be glad you did.
And we are back. Will Hill is at the plate with a 2-1 count. Here's the pitch. And there's a swing and a miss. And there is strike 2 to Hill. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hill has struck out in his last at bat. So 2-1 now to Will Hill. 2-2, sorry. And the windup and the pitch by McBurney is hit on the ground. Foul. And the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. How do you get out?
Second base for 4-3. Now batting for the Lumberjacks.
And it was a 4-3 out.
Asher Friedman.
All right. I didn't see it. I thought he fouled it off on the first baseline. My bad. I don't know what happened there. Here's Asher Friedman. And that ball's hit the third. Third baseman scoops it, throws across. And that is out number 2. So quickly 2 outs here for the Lumberjacks.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, designated hitter number 31 from Niagara Community College, Ian Farber.
So Ian Farber now the batter. And Farber a lefty here against the righty and Cal McBurney. McBurney looks in, nobody on, with 2 outs here. And the windup, the pitch, down low for ball 1, the count 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes here to the batter, Farber. 1-0. Here's the pitch. That one misses. Oh, he calls it a strike. I thought it was low. 1-1. His umpire with a delayed strike call sometimes. 1-1 now the count. 2 outs. And there's a big swing and a miss for strike 2 in the count now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Farber. Argenio Lopez on deck. 1-2, 2 outs. 1 more needed here for McBurney. He winds, delivers, and that one misses in the dirt. And gets away from the catcher in the count 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Farber stepped out of the box momentarily, back in now, 2-2 the count. Kids still enjoying their beach balls on here all over the ballpark. And there is a swing and a miss for strike 3. Another quick inning, and the score remains 5-2. Lumberjacks ahead. Bottom of the 7th coming up.
Boonville 5, Mohawk Valley 2. Center fielder number 14 from Dominican University, Eric Diaz.
And welcome back, and Eric Diaz will lead things off here for the Dogs in the bottom half of the seventh. Dogs need some runs here, down 5-2. And Diaz, Crenshaw, and Arias, top of the order, all coming up here for the Dogs. But first, Eric Diaz, who struck out twice tonight and has singled, and he takes the first pitch for a ball on the count, 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes to Eric Diaz. And pitches outside to Diaz in the count, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. And that's a shot to right field. And it's traveling, and he's going to head to second, Will Diaz, and now he's going to go to third. And he'll reach third safely with Eric Diaz, as that was a mammoth shot to right field for Diaz.
From the University of Richmond, Joe Crenshaw.
So Joe Crenshaw, who already hit a home run tonight, will come to the plate for the Dogs. Crenshaw, a right-handed batter, has lined for the night a single, a home run, and a flyout. So here is Crenshaw, who's hitting .500 coming into the ballgame here today. And the pitch to Crenshaw. And there's a called strike. They count 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike here to Crenshaw. And that one down low, and the count now 1-1. So 1 ball and a strike to Crenshaw from Tesloff. 1-1 the count. Crenshaw back in the box, ready to go. Here's Tesloff now with the pitch. And the curveball missing, and the count 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Crenshaw with nobody out. And Crenshaw fouls that one off. Runner on third for the Dogs by way of Eric Diaz. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, nobody out. Dogs looking to chip away, down 5-2 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-2 pitch. Curveball, a lot of movement, missing on the outside corner. And that puts us at a full count here to Crenshaw. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tesloff winds and delivers. And he fouls that one off and stays alive. 3-2 now to Crenshaw, who's battling at the plate here against Tesloff. Tesloff, the second pitcher in the game here for Boonville. He took over for Logan Brock, who was the starter. Timeout is called. Crenshaw calls timeout. The umpire will get out the little black book and mark it in his book, I think. Looks like he issued a warning. I don't know. Apparently he's got a, I thought you don't keep track of that, but apparently you do. 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes. And there is ball 4 as Crenshaw will walk. So the Dogs now with runners on first and third at the corners. So Brian Arias now the batter for Mohawk Valley. He walked in his last at bat, singled before that, and grounded out in his first attempt. He will come to the plate with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. And this would be the tying run at the plate for the Dogs, with Arias looking at Tesloff for the pitch. Tesloff winds and delivers and puts it on the outside corner, paints the paint, gets the strike, 0-1. So Tesloff staring down, ready, looks over his shoulder at the runner at first. Here's Arias at the plate. in the dirt. And the count now 1-1. So 1 ball and a strike here to Brian Arias, the shortstop. Arias came into this ball game hitting .444, has a home run in the books, and wouldn't mind another one here with the runners on first and third. 1 ball, 1 strike, tying run at the plate. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. Here's the throw, and not in time. Just takes the bounce as the shortstop grabs it and throws it right back to the pitcher. Overthrows him a bit. And now runners in scoring position at second and third here for the Dogs. A 1-2 count to Brian Arias. So space open at first base. And a 1-2 count. Nobody out. Teslov taking a long look. Now he looks at that runner at second. Winds, kicks, and delivers. And that one is popped up. Right fielder coming in. Makes the grab, and the runner tags up and heads back. And that is out number 1. So I pop out to right field for Arias. So Connor Scanlon now the batter for the Dogs. So Scanlon has reached on an error, a single, and has grounded out this evening. Scanlon has a home run on the year, and he comes to us from Fairfield University, a college we are very familiar with here at Vets Memorial Park. Every year, the best of the best from Fairfield make their way here and call Mohawk Valley home in the summer. That one's fouled off on the third base line on the count 0-1. So no balls and a 1 strike. Oh, and a 1 here with 1 out. Here's the pitch, called strike 2, and they count 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes with an out. Runners on second and third. Scanlon is the batter with Colby on deck. 0-2 pitch. Little chopper above the head of the pitcher, and this is going to cause a problem, and it does as the second baseman scoops it up, but not in time. Everybody's safe. A run scores, and the score now is 5-3.
Second baseman number 44 from Fairfield University, Nolan Colby.
So Nolan Colby now the batter. He has struck out twice tonight and singled, and he's got Dogs on the corners here with 1 out. Now down just 2. So Teslov is the pitcher here for Boonville. Boonville trying to hold on here in this inning. That one misses down low for ball 1 to Nolan Colby. Colby hitting .250 coming into this ball game. Another one of the Fairfield boys here in Mohawk Valley this summer. And there's another swing and a miss. And they count 1-1 now. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brody Freaker on deck for the Dogs. 1 out. Runners on the corners. Go ahead run at the plate. And that is down low for ball 2. So 2-1 now to Nolan Colby. Teslov is the pitcher. That is Jonathan Teslov on the mound. 2-1, here it is. And that one misses down low again. 3-1 now. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Colby's going to have him pitch to him here and see what happens. He's trying to get on base with just 1 base pad open. 3-1. Teslov winds and delivers, and that ball is hit into right field at the wall. It is gone. A 3-run home run by Nolan Colby, and that was the go-ahead run for the Dogs, and the Dogs now take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. So Nolan Colby, Fairfield Stags' finest, goes deep for the Dogs. A 3-run home run. The second home run of the evening for the Dogs. And they take the lead here in the bottom of the 7th. So 6-5 the score, and now here is Brody Freaker, this time with a lead and 1 out. And that one called a strike to Freaker, the count 0-1. So these Dogs never quit. I have that mentality to just keep chugging along. 0-2 the count. Brody Freaker at the plate. Jack Henning on deck. 1 out here for the Dogs, bottom 7. There's the windup and pitch. And that one is low for ball 1 in the count, 1-2. Jonathan Teslov, the pitcher here for Boonville. 1-2. Here's the pitch from Teslov. Down in the dirt again, and they count 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Teslov looks in. And here's the pitch to Freaker. And that is fouled off on the first base line by Freaker. The count's going to remain 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 count, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Freaker from Teslov. And that again is fouled off on the first base line again. And the count remains 2-2. So a new set of baseballs coming into the ball game as all these baseballs finding their way to right field in foul territory tonight. 2-2, and that one hits the pitcher right up the middle. And there's a base hit for Brody Freaker. So Jack Henning now the batter for the Dogs, and with that, a trip out to the mound for the coach. And we will see what that means for Teslov. And that's it. His night is over. And the Dogs lead 6-5. We're going to take a quick break and be back after this with the Dogs continuing the battle here in the bottom of the 7th. And we are back, and Jack Henning is the batter for the Dogs. New pitcher on the mound for Boonville here is Michael Clarkson. So Michael Clarkson, right-handed pitcher, now pitching for Boonville, with the Dogs leading 6-5. And the first pitch to Henning misses, or a strike, and the count 0-1. And there is strike 2 so quickly, 0-2 now. Ahead in the count is Clarkson to Henning. 1 out with a runner on first base here for the Dogs. 0-2 pitch now from Michael Clarkson. And big swing and a miss, and down goes Henning for out number 2 of the bottom of the 7th. So Jaden Santiago now the batter for Mohawk Valley. Here comes Santiago. He has struck out twice tonight, hit by a pitch, as he will face Michael Clarkson for the first time this evening. Second batter of the night here for Clarkson. First one, he struck out. So Santiago is set. Going to get in the batter's box here as Clarkson looks at the runner at first base. 2 outs, Dog have a 1-run lead. And that one misses for ball 1 to Santiago in the count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 pitch from Clarkson. And that one misses for ball 2 in the count now 2-0. Dogs looking for some more runs here late in the game with a one run lead. 2-0 pitch. And a little chopper above the head of the infield umpire. And the second baseman scoops it up, touches the bag, ends the inning, but not before the Dogs put up 4 from a 3-run home run. And they lead this game now 6-5. We head to the top of the 8th.
We know pools. Garrity Pools and Spa are the experts in building and creating backyard memories for thousands of families. Garrity takes pride in offering only the highest quality in-ground Pacific pool and radiant above-ground pools that are built for upstate New York weather. Garrity offers only the best with BioGuard chemicals to keep your pool sparkling clean. Visit the professionals at Garrity Pools and Spa, 234 South Caroline Street, Herkimer, or GarrityPools.com.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs from Trinity University, number 16, Caden Wells. That's Wells.
So we are back, and Caden Wells on the mound here for Mohawk Valley. Here in the top of the 8th inning, Dogs lead by 1. 6-5 is the score. Wells takes these last few warm-up tosses here and looking to shut things down here in the last 2 innings here. Pick up a victory here for the Dogs. 3-1 for the Dogs on the season, 0-3 for Boonville. So Boonville looking for their first win of the year. Dogs looking to improve to 4-1. So we are ready to go. Argenius Lopez is the batter here for Boonville. And Lopez in the box. Caden Wells on the mound. Here's the first pitch from Wells, a right-hander. And throws hard and in the dirt for ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes here to Lopez. And the count 1-0. So it'll be Lopez, Ferguson, and Wyatt Lassier. And that one's popped up, and it is out of play in the count 1-1. So Lopez, Ferguson, and Lassier all due up here, middle of the order here for Boonville. A 1-1 here to Lopez. Lopez has singled, struck out, and popped out here tonight. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. And in the dirt to Lopez. The count now 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike here to Argenio Lopez. Nobody out. Nobody on. Top 8 Dogs. A 1-run lead, 6-5. Here's the pitch. And that is popped up. And the second baseman is called off by the first baseman. And he makes the catch for out number 1.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, third baseman number 20 from the College of Mount Olive.
So that was
Tanner Ferguson.
Connor Scanlon calling off Nolan Colby. So here is Tanner Ferguson. He has struck out twice here tonight and grounded out. So 1 out on the board here in the top of the 8th. And that one is popped in the air into left field, and it is going foul. No, fair ball, dropped in. And a double, that just stayed fair, as Ferguson picks up the double. And Lassiter now will come to the plate.
Left fielder number 25 from the College of Mount Olive, Wyatt Lassiter.
So here's Wyatt Lassiter, with the 1 out. Runner on second base here. So tying run at second for Boonville. Go ahead, run at the plate. There is the windup, the pitch. And that's hit slowly on the ground. Slow roller picked up by the shortstop. Throws over. And he digs it out of the dirt for out number 2. That moves the runner over to third. So tying run now at third base for Boonville.
Second baseman number 2 from UNC Asheville, Zeb Swangham.
So Zeb Swangham now the batter. So Swangham now the batter here for Boonville. And the pitch to Swangham. Down low. 4-1. A 1 ball and no strikes to Swangham here. Wells is set. Winds and delivers. And there's a called strike. And they count now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Swangham. Runner on third here for Boonville. The runner on third is the tying run. Go ahead run at the plate here for the Lumberjacks. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And they count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 now. Here's the pitch. And that is popped into the air into right field. And the right fielder will make the grab. And that'll do it for the inning. The Dogs hang on to that score. 6-5. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Back after this. And we are back. Kyle Coleman will lead things off here for the Dogs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Kyle Coleman, bottom of the order, then back to the top with Eric Diaz and Joe Crenshaw. Dogs looking for some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 8th. A 1-run lead. Here's the pitch to Coleman. And that one misses. Ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes to Kyle Coleman. 0 for 3 tonight for Coleman. All flyouts for him. 1-0 pitch from Clarkson. And that one is hit hard to left field, but foul. And the count even at 1-1. So a ball and a strike. Here to Coleman. Coleman, 1 home run on the year from Belmont University. 1-1 now as Clarkson looks in. And he winds and delivers and puts it high for ball 2 in the count, 2-1. 2-1, nobody out. There's the 2-1 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss, and the count now 2-2 to Coleman. So Coleman and Clarkson going the battle here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coleman back in the box, ready to go. And 2-2. And there's called strike 3. And he goes down swinging, does Coleman. So out number 1, back to the top of the order now with Eric Diaz. So here's Diaz, a left-handed batter for Mohawk Valley. He taps those cleats, gets in the box. He's ready for business. Is Diaz. Here's the pitch from Clarkson. And that's a strike in the count, 0-1. So Clarkson are also ready for business here. And the count 0-1. Back in the box is Diaz. Clarkson winds and delivers. Outside, ball 1. And the count now 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Fans, sorry about the camera action here. We got some movement on the fence, we believe, and messing with our camera. 1-1. I'll try to give you the best description I can give you from up here in the booth. Trying to get our executive producer to climb out there and here's the pitch. And shortly, you'll probably see Dave walking along the fence. Don't worry, Deb. He'll be fine. 1-2 the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that one hits him. So Diaz hit by and pitch and will take a walk to first base. And Joe Crenshaw will come to the plate.
Designated hitter number 34 from Richmond University, Joe Crenshaw.
So here's Joe Crenshaw, big bat here for Mohawk Valley. As Crenshaw has already hit a home run, he walked in his last at bat. And he's going to come to the plate looking for some more here. Late in the ball game, bottom of the 8th, 1-run lead for Crenshaw. And a runner on first base. So the runner on first, 1 out. Here is Crenshaw. And the windup, the pitch, and that is popped foul by Crenshaw on the count, 0-1. So no balls and a strike here to Crenshaw. Here's the pitch, and that ball hit on the ground past the second baseman. He tried to get his glove up and went right past him. And there's a hit for Crenshaw. That puts runners on first and second here for the Dogs.
Shortstop number 17 from Dominican University, Brian Arias.
So Brian Arias now the batter. Arias has popped out, walked, singled, and grounded out today. And he will come to the plate with the runners on first and second. And 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that one misses outside, ball 1 to Crenshaw. So 1 ball, no strikes to Crenshaw. Runners on first and second. Again, 1 out here for the Dogs. Bottom 8. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that is outside for ball 2. And with that, a trip out to the mound. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with our camera, because it's if you probably can't see it here, but it's attached to the fence. And so if the fence moves, it could move our camera, but our fence is not moving, folks. Dave thinks it's an alien from outer space. 2 balls and no strikes. And that one called a strike, and the count 2-1. Dave has an exciting new app coming out soon, and he thinks that the people outside in the space world are looking on and are not happy because he'll be reporting back to the humans on where they might be. 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-2. Sorry, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Arias back in the box here. He's got runners on first and second. Good opportunity here for the Dogs to add some more runs. 2-2 with 1 out. Here's Clarkson now with the pitch. And that ball is fouled off again, and the count remains 2-2. So a battle between pitcher and batter here in the bottom of the 8th. This game has been gone back and forth all game as Boonville jumped out ahead for a little while, and then the Dogs came roaring back. 1-run lead here for the Dogs, bottom 8th. Looking to pick up some insurance runs before they head to the top of the 9th. And that ball is hit to left field, and the left fielder is going to make the grab, and that's not going to allow any runners to advance. So the runners will stay put at first and second, and now 2 outs for the Dogs. And Connor Scanlon is the batter for Mohawk Valley here. So Scanlon with the last chance here for the Dogs to keep things moving along with 2 outs. So Scanlon has grounded out twice tonight, reached on an error, and also singled. And he will face Michael Clarkson with 2 outs and runners on first and second. And first pitch right down the center of the plate called strike 1. And the count is 0-1 now to Scanlon. So no balls and 1 strike. Clarkson is set. Looks at that runner at second and delivers the pitch. And that one misses inside, and the count even at 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to the first baseman, Connor Scanlon. 1-1 count. As Clarkson again looks at that runner at second, not being held on, and that's fouled off by Scanlon, and the count now 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Clarkson leads 1 more to bring his Lumberjacks into the top of the 9th inning with a chance to tie it up or go ahead. Here's the windup in the pitch. Swing and a miss. And there is strike 3 from Connor Scanlon. So we'll head to the top of the 9th. Dogs hanging on to a slim margin, a 1-run lead. Come on back. We'll be back after this.
Wake up and smell the sizzle at your local Burger King. Burger King is open for breakfast 7 days a week. Your mornings deserve the royal treatment. So dive in to try our delicious breakfast sandwiches, savor our savory hash browns, and wash it all down with a hot or iced coffee. Whether it's Monday or Sunday, we've got your breakfast cravings covered. Swing by BK today to have it your way. You rule at participating U.S. restaurants during breakfast hours.
At GPO, we understand every member's journey is unique. That's why our employees take the time to listen, understand, and deliver personalized solutions that fit your life. From budgeting to borrowing, we're with you every step of the way. Your journey, our commitment. GPO Federal Credit Union, committed to excellence.
And we are back, top of the ninth. Dogs with a 1-run lead. And here we go, folks. Davon Abaga is the batter here for Boonville. So Abaga ready to go here against Caden Wells. 1-run lead for the Dogs. Here's the pitch. And there's a call, strike one, the count, 0-1 to Abaga. It'll be Abaga, Bischoff, and Guy all up here in the inning. That is 8, 9, 10. There's a swing and a miss for strike two. So quickly ahead of the count is Wells on Abaga, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Wells can put him away here. Up 0-2 in the count. Wells digs in, and there's called strike three. A off-speed pitch gets him, and that is out number 1.
27 from Grand Rapids Community College, Seth Bischoff.
So here is Bischoff. So Bischoff with 1 out will step into the batter's box. Down 1. And ready to face Caden Wells. And there's a swing and a foul tip in the count, 0-1 to Bischoff. So no balls and 1 strike. Bischoff steps out of the box as the pitcher, Caden Wells, gets a new baseball. And 0-1 here to Bischoff. Bischoff in the box, ready to go. Wells looking in, has his sign, and he's going to kick, wind, and deliver on the 0-1. And that's fouled off, and the count now 0-2. So again, Caden Wells ahead in the count here, ahead of the batter, 0-2. And let's see if he can have the same fate that Abaga had and finish him off here on the 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the ninth, 6-5, Dogs ahead. Here's the pitch. Called strike 3, so he goes down the same way Abaga went down. Strikeout looking, and Jihad Guy. So Jihad Guy is going to have to be the guy for Boonville here with 2 outs. So here is Caden Wells. Needs 1 more to put this game away. There's the windup and the pitch. There's strike 1, and the count 0-1. 2 more strikes needed here by Wells. 0-1, he looks in. He kicks, winds, and delivers, and that is popped foul. And the count now 0-2. So same situation that Abaga saw and Bischoff, and they both went down looking with an 0-2 count. Can the fate be the same here for Jihad Guy? So Guy back at the box. Caden Wells looking to do the same thing he did to Abaga and Bischoff, as make him stand there and watch that pitch go by him and end the game. 0-2, 2 outs, 6-5, Dogs ahead, top of the ninth. Here is the 0-2 pitch. And that one missing down low in the count, 1-2. So things a little further here for Jihad Guy. He continues to hang in there against Wells. Wells looking for 1 more strike. Here's pitch. And that's popped up into foul territory as we continue the battle between Guy and Wells. 1-2. Guy digs in at the plate. Wells is set on the mound. 1-2 pitch. He kicks, winds, delivers, and a little bloop on the ground. Picked up by the third baseman, throws across, and that'll do it. Ball game over. DiamondDawgs win 6-5. So the Mohawk Valley DiamondDawgs winners against the Boonville Lumberjacks. They improved to 4-1 on the year. Meanwhile, the Lumberjacks dropped to 0-4 on the season. We are back here on Saturday night, folks. Make sure you come out to the ballpark if you can. If not, tune into the game. 6:35 start against the Glens Falls Dragons. Again, I'm Pete Pagliaro. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great night.
We're out on the field and we're ready to play. We're all suited up, we got a
disc and we're gonna play